Hi everybody, welcome back to my Dungeon Boss campaign series. We are checking back in again with the low-level PvP. We have just moved on to our next threshold, which is right around the level 15 or 16. I'm going to be keeping on about every 5 or so levels. We'll do a check-in with the PvP, see how it's going, see how the offense goes, see how the defense goes. Really what I'm looking at now is because I've met that next milestone, I'm going to start planning out a team to use for my attacks and for my defense. So right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and summon Ella here. She's going to be a very useful hero as far as PvP goes. Not because she's personally strong, but because we can use her to get opponents to use their best heroes against them. That's where she's going to come in handy. So for the most part here, for these first couple of minutes, I'm just going to be going through the teams here, upgrading all of my heroes and making sure they're up to snuff here. So I don't really have enough Evos for Ascensions at this point here. Ella's second Ascension is not going to be super critical anyways. It's just a little bit of a heal. It'd be better off if we tried to use our Evos on Yasmin and get her to heal. So the team that I'm going to be using is going to be Ella and Darth for the attack purposes. I'm going to be bringing along Willow for healing. I think early on in PvP, at this low level, healers are going to go a long ways. They obviously don't pan out quite as much at the higher levels because they tend to die pretty easily unless you have somebody armored like Augustus with some serious Aegis runes or some planning runes. They're just not as useful anymore. And the high-end PvP is honestly just a one-shot meta right now. I'm not really thrilled about how the PvP is shaping up at the max levels. I feel like if we could get more PvP like this at the low levels when we see the matches go 8, 10, 15 rounds, which I've seen some of these go, I find that to be much more engaging and a lot more exciting. I like the virtual chess match with the defense. When you play at 70, realistically, after the first 2 attacks, their attack and your attack, you can pretty much guarantee who's going to win the match. You can almost definitely tell who's going to win based on those first 2 attacks. I don't think, personally, that's a good PvP concept. So in order to maximize our PvP efficiency, we do got to throw some runes on here. If you're going to go into PvP without runes, you're kind of just wasting your time. So even though I don't have the best runes out here, I'm going to take whatever I have in my junk pile and put it on here. Whether it's health, damage, even resistance, I don't really care. If there's any type of a rune that's going to benefit me, I'm going to put it out there and just hope for the best. So in this case here, we get a little bit of life runes basically for Darius. Obviously she'd be better with attack runes because she's going to be the primary attack dealer. The life, health, and defense would be better for Ella because we want her to ultimately be able to survive. But realistically we don't have much to choose from, so pick your best ones and put it on there. So you'll also notice that my account is, I've mentioned this before, my account is not a VIP account, and it is also kind of a slow account as well because I have not spent gems on any of my heroes yet. So once I get to 2,700 gems, I'll whip out my first times 10. I'll put that in a video when I get to it. I would imagine that's going to be somewhere around level 25, maybe even 30. It's been kind of slow going because I'm not playing this account every single day. But really, I'll probably end up saving that times 10 summon for somebody that I know is going to be a good hero. Because I'm not spending every time I get 300 gems, I don't have the luxury of just randomly rolling and hope I get somebody good. The last thing I want, and having experienced this before in my main account, I'm not going to spend 300 gems and get stuck with somebody like Alexandros. That's going to be a complete waste. So with this particular account, I'm definitely going to slow play it, use my experience to my advantage, and make sure that I use those gems wisely. And then honestly, if I save my gems, I'll be able to use some of those gems in rune crafting as well, which I think would be a better use than just pouring gems aimlessly into the heroic summons. So we should be almost about done with our upgrades here. Like I said, I'm just kind of giving some rambling commentary while this is going on here. I'm not sure anybody really cares about the runes that I'm putting on here. So the benefits of doing PvP at low levels is not as many people participate, and if you do put some good runes on there, you're going to be a little bit stronger than other people. On the flip side, Because it is so early in the game, if you have literally any 3-star hero, you're already going to be in a good position. So while my PvP offense, I can be a little bit more selective in terms of who I go against. PvP defense is anybody that comes around. If they're going to have an Igorok already, they're going to do some serious damage to my team. There's nothing I can do with that. And we will see that a little bit in the future as I start showing the PvP defenses as well. That's actually going to be the next video after this one. You'll see that some people just come into my house, completely destroy me. There's nothing you can do about that. So at max level PvP, you at least know that nobody can come in higher than you as far as the level goes, but they can certainly have better runes than you. In this case here, with me being level 15, 16-ish, if somebody wants to come in and they're level 19 or 20, it's likely that we might see some of those, and there's just going to be no way to stop them. So you'll also see with my team that I don't have any fast heroes. I did not go with Shadow Blade or Willow, partially because they do single target damage, which I wanted to avoid for starters. And also, I didn't think that there was going to be a ton of people using fast heroes. And even if they are, there's not super strong ones out here. So if somebody's going to come in and use Black Diamond or Masuda Kira, obviously they're going to do some serious damage to my team. There's nothing I can do about that other than switch things up and maybe put Rogar in there. But I'm not a big fan of Rogar, so I'm not going to waste my time with him. So anybody that wants to beat this team, like I said, just feel free to come in there with your Black Diamond or Kira, and you'll do just fine. So you see the existing team that I had right now. I had 2 fast heroes and then Darius and Yasmin. They lost quite a bit, if we're being honest here. So we're going to switch up this defense here. Like I said, you'll see the results of this one after we do the attack video. We do need to let this sit for a few days and wait for some people to come to me. So now we're just going to look to see what we have out there. Ultimately, when you're doing PvP this low, you're looking for some nice, easy wins, get some honor points, and get some trophies. This one here should actually be pretty easy to win because they're a little bit low-leveled, and they don't have any real serious damage dealing. So I'm not going to get into too much, but basically PvP defense at this level, if you have any ascensions on your heroes, you're going to be sitting pretty well. The ascended heroes where they get 2 abilities is going to be kind of the tipping point in a lot of these matches, especially on defense, because if you get to use both of theirs or both of your attacks, then you're actually going to be looking pretty good. So opening Willow versus Yasmin, a lot of times that will kill her, but honestly, with the level difference, I didn't expect it to. Yasmin's not as weak as she looks. When we do this one here with the charm, ultimately chose to go with Stonefist because I knew that even if I dazed Rogar, he would still hit, so it was kind of a waste there. And I didn't think Rogar was going to be able to kill them because there's 2 blues. So I ultimately just went for the daze instead. And then Darius should be able to come in and do a little bit of house cleaning. And this is actually what I like about low-level PvP. I didn't one-shot anybody, and now we're into basically the next round almost, and it's like, okay, what's going to happen at this point? And so we're going to get a nice taunting battle between his Stonefist and my Stonefist. And because the attack and defense are such a disparity at this low level, we actually get to see some nice, fun PvP work itself out. So I like how this results early on. If we had a tank in level 70 PvP that could survive like this Stonefist does here, I think that'd be pretty amazing. But without some 400, 500, 600% buffs on some of these, that'll never happen. And they're still going to get one-shot by Koros, even with the elemental disadvantage. So nothing I can do about that. So that's it is what it is. So really, this is just a slow victory now. The only thing we really need to watch out for is when the taunt comes up, because once that's done with, then it's open season for either the 2 leading ladies in the middle here. And then we also noticed that Willow didn't actually have her second ability either, so we got lucky there. So being that this is going nice and slow, we should get to a point where we can actually heal again with Yasmin and top everybody off, and then it'll be a cruise control to victory. Once Stonefist goes down, it's pretty much over in my opinion, unless this Rogar would basically need to have his Rage Strike in order to kill somebody. So he's got about 1 hit left, and make that 2. Safe play was probably to taunt there, but I knew that Rogar was going to go down in one hit, so now it's just a matter of, clean this up. So I didn't actually count the total number of turns here as far as rounds go. We didn't get to a full round of Yasmin healing a second time, so I want to say it went probably, I would say 5 rounds, maybe 6, well, before she died. So a total of probably about 8 rounds, which is pretty long in terms of PvP. But like I said, that's what I like. If they want to rework PvP to make the matches go longer, I would be eternally grateful. Obviously, we'd have a lot of people crying foul about how long it takes to PvP and how they can't advance up to Legend 1 and get all their cool rewards. But honestly, I don't care about the elite gamers. I only care about myself. So that's me. And I like my games a certain way, and I like them to be fun and not grindy or only catering to the high-end player. So this team here is a little bit more defense oriented. And they're also a little bit more equivalent to my level as well. So this one is actually a little bit more challenging, if I had to guess. But I feel like because they don't have a ton of attack, I at least stand a chance here. The main thing is, can I get to the point where I can taunt? The Cobalt is probably going to be the worst one because he's got that AoE attack. That's going to be tough to get rid of. So we go ahead and we'll disorient him with the daze and hope that he actually misses. And actually he still ended up hitting 2 people, which isn't usually good here because of the disease. The disease impacts healing. So now, depending on what's going to go on here, I could heal, but it's not going to do much good here. So the best bet is to try and wait for disease to subside, and then I'll heal afterwards. Now at this level, Stonefist, relatively speaking, has way more health than anybody else does. So even when I heal, it only heals just a little bit, so I don't have to worry about any of that healing being wasted. We just got to make sure that we can survive this. Now Sir William is actually pretty good at low levels. I never really gave him the credit that he deserved. But he's actually a pretty decent tank, and I actually wish I had him for my campaign running because he can taunt in the normal speed round, which is what I ultimately need, because Stonefist can be a little bit difficult to manage his taunt when you're running dungeons. So kind of the goat of this fight is really Overlord. He's just really hanging out. He's not doing much, but you can see where this one is going here because I tried to heal with the disease before, and it barely gave anything back to Stonefist, and now we're in a tough position here. Because the heal's on cooldown with Yasmin. I haven't ascended her yet, so I don't have the healing wounds to get rid of that debuff. So with the taunt up on Stonefist, that actually kind of sucks a little bit. I need 2 turns to get back my AoE. Basically, we just have to survive long enough to be able to do some damage. And Yasmin did not make it. So now we should be able to one-shot Overlord if he doesn't kill me. Which he went for Ella anyways, which is good. So I got 2 things going for me. I got my AoE here. Okay, I got 1 thing going for me. I would have had the nice attack from Ella, but looks like we didn't need it. So in the grand scheme of things, should I have won this one? Maybe, maybe not. I think it was a little bit of luck on my part, but ultimately we won, and it was ultimately an engaging PvP fight. It wasn't just a one hit and done. Like I said, those are the ones that I actually like. So we look at this team here. There's 2 3-star heroes. They're lower level than me, but I don't know that this is going to be one that I can ultimately beat. So we'll give it a try anyways. The goal here is going to be to use our charm on Braum, because he's going to be the hardest hitter, and then hopefully we can just slow play this one and end up grinding out a victory. So it's going to come down to what does Pygnius decide to do first, because he is a 3-star hero. He could do some damage, but he made the stupid AI mistake and went for an elemental disadvantage, which makes no sense at all, but that's the AI for you. So a little bit underwhelming for Braum. Usually Braum is quite the superstar when it comes to dishing out damage. I know when he gets charmed, when I do tower runs, he just wipes out my entire undead team, and my undead team is no slouch either. So it's a little bit disappointing to see him so lackluster at this point here. But the main thing as far as this goes is that I dazed him so that he shouldn't be able to kill me with his Doomblade. Yasmin went and healed the entire team, which not much we could do about that. And that had the desired effect. So now we can taunt, hopefully last a couple of turns and get through this one relatively unscathed. So with the 2 purples, I tend to recommend purple teams in early PvP because they don't really have a ton of elemental disadvantage. Whereas like Stonefist, if I'm going against a green hero, it's not going to be that good. Or if I have a red hero and I'm going against a blue team, sometimes it's not that good. So in this case here, Stonefist taunting is actually really good for me because it pretty much renders Rogar and Pigneus kind of useless because they're just not going to get that much damage. So now it's 4-on-2 with basically my full team at full health. Taunt is going to be coming down pretty soon, so we really need to work on getting one of these guys killed off here. So we went with the one with the elemental advantage first because Yasmin was able to finish him. Now it's just a matter of making sure Doomblade doesn't come back up and have Braum wipe the team. Now what I saw him attacking his own team, I feel like I'd be able to soak the Doomblade anyways and not die from it. And so we can see his days are numbered here. And there he goes. So we're so far 3 for 3. Like I said, while we're doing this, we're letting the PvP defense work its magic, see how this team fares defensively. I don't anticipate a ton of amazing results yet because none of my heroes are ascended, so none of them have that second skill. So we're not going to see a ton of things go. This one here is a definite pass. So this guy here is definitely doing some, either doing some pain or he's just spending some gems. I'm not really sure what the scoop is, but he's got some heroic heroes. More power to you. I was not smart enough when I played the first time to invest any money until I got to level 50-ish. So I felt a little bit harder for me to get going. This is another 3-star team. There's no way I'm beating that one. And then we have one that's similar to what we just fought. This one's possibly doable. We do have 2 elemental advantages with Nitpick and Pigneus. We do have to deal with the burn though, if he hits me. And then we have to keep in mind that I don't have the second skill from Yasmin as well, so I can't take that burn off of anybody. So if Ella and or Darius both get burned, we pretty much just have to hope that we can soak it. So, nice to see that Yasmin survived from Willow, but then Pigneus went and attacked her, which kind of surprises me why the AI would choose an elemental disadvantage, but there's got to be something in the mechanics that suggested that there was a likely chance he would kill her. I tend to notice that the AI will definitely go for what seems to be the guaranteed kill, but I don't claim to know anything about the actual programming. You see that I went with the days on Nitpick. I thought that was the smartest plan so I could try and avoid the massive burn. That was the goal here. So basically with Stonefist, could have taunted there and probably should have actually. Had I taunted, maybe I could have survived this one, but we'll chalk that one up to just a casual mistake on my part. And realistically, I think this match may have lived and died with Yasmin going down on that opening salvo. I think if she would have been there, maybe she could have topped off my team and I could have survived a little bit more. Not really sure. Or at the very least, if she would have gotten killed slightly later, I could have gotten another couple of attacks off and maybe killed Nitpick and Willow. So basically, we're not going to win all of them. That's kind of how PvP goes. So my goal here was just to get a couple of wins in there, get a little bit of honor, and maybe do an honor summon, maybe use the shop a little bit. But you can kind of see how this is going to play out. So stick around. We're going to be doing the PvP defense on this team. We'll see how it fared against people coming in my house, see if it's predominantly losses, see if it's predominantly wins, and just see what the overall trends are. So If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this one here, feel free to let me know in the comments. Otherwise, stick around for the PvP defense, and then we'll see you again in this one around level 20. Thanks.